All right, now today we're going to learn how to sew in a circle. A circle so that we don't sew everything together. In other words, if you were doing a pair of shorts, you have a waistband, so you want it to be a circle. On your bags, the casing at the top where your drawstring is going to go, you want it to be a circle. And in order to do that, we have the flatbed of the machine here, and we're going to make it free arm. I'm going to put a hand underneath here, and we're going to give this a little tug, and it's going to pull out. And now we have it as a free arm. All right, so that's free arm. This is flatbed. The first thing we're going to do in order to create our circle, we're going to take our seam gauge, we're going to create 5/8 of an inch seam. We're going to make sure that our threads are underneath the presser foot and that we have a long enough tail here so we don't lose the thread out of our needle. Okay? Then we're going to create our seam. We're going to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. 3 stitches forward, 3 stitches backwards, and we're going to create our seam. Notice that I'm sewing it at the short end of the paper because I want to make a circle. I'm going to cut my threads. I'm going to come around, edges even, put it back in, backstitch, come straight down, 5/8 of an inch seam, backstitch, pull it out, cut my threads. Now I have seams at both ends of my paper. So what have I created? I've created a circle. Now I don't have to sew this side to this side. I can just go right around. I'm going to make my machine free arm. Now, when you make free arm, you have to remember that 50% or the bottom layer of the fabric has to go underneath the machine. So the bottom layer goes underneath, the top layer goes on top. We're going to slip this through next to our seam gauge because we're going to still stitch a seam. We're going to backstitch and we're going to sew. Now, as you sew, you're going to notice that I'm at the end here. What am I going to do? I'm going to keep my needle in and I'm going to pull this out. And when I do that, I can continue sewing. And I'm going to take my seam, I'm going to make them open, I'm going to sew right over my seam. I'm going to continue sewing. I'm going to go all the way with the needle in. I'm going to pull it back out again. Get to here, I'm going to open up my seam. I'm going to go right back to where I started, join it, backstitch it, and I'm done. And I take it off. And remember, pull out 12 inches, cut your threads close to your work. Now for practice, I'm going to take my paper and I'm just going to sew on the other side, just for practice. Go all the way around, pull it out, sew it, pull it out, sew, pull it out, go to where I started, backstitch, stop, needle up, pull out, and cut all of your threads. So now I've created seam line. And I have my circle, whether it be this the top of your bag, your shoulder sack bag, or it's the top of your shorts. It's done with the free arm machine. When you're finished and you want to go back to flatbed, just take your attachment, put it back on again. Now you're ready to sew flatbed.